In this video we're going to be making this ring here. This is made with 1mm aluminium wire. You can also use the same pattern to use with the copper craft wire like I've done here. So this is slightly finer wire. You can do it in a 0.8mm copper craft wire. In this project we're going to be using aluminium wire. I suggest it as a good wire to start off with, just because it's easier to bend and it's just a nice way of easing yourself into working with wire. So we have the wire here. So this is 1mm in thickness, it's aluminium, and this will make a smaller ring. If you want a larger ring, you just cut off a little bit more. 5 to 10 centimeters will make a slightly larger ring. So with this we're using the wire, a mandrel, but if you don't have a mandrel you can use something like a chunky marker pen, something that's roughly the thickness of the ring that you want, but more importantly the shape, so a round shape, and then if it's roughly the thickness of the ring that you want. Wire cutters, flat nose pliers. I have the round nose pliers at hand just in case. We shouldn't need them for this, but I always like to have them just in case. So they're there. So you're going to first start by finding the thickness that you want your ring to be. So I want my ring similar fit to this one here, and I always go just a slight marking down about 0.5 centimetre or a centimetre down from the ring size that I want, because once I've added the bulky parts here it's going to get a little bit tighter. So say if I was working off of this ring and I wanted to mimic this size, it's all smooth inside there, so that fits to there. But if I were to make that same size ring on this point here with this style, the minute I add these wrap sections in, it would sit slightly further up on the mandrel. So if you are using a smooth ring like this to gauge your size, always make it slightly bigger, because once you add these sections in it pads it out a little bit, so it will be a slightly tighter fit. So you're going to take your wire, find roughly the centre, so about 20 centimetres on this one, and then you're just going to fold it around like that, just so that they're roughly equal in length there, and then crisscross over, if you can see there, like so. You've got single at the back and then double wrap over there. Now I'm going to hold with my thumb and I'm going to bend this wire up. If you were using copper craft wire, this is where you would use your flat nose or your round nose to create this bend, but because it's aluminium it would be quite easy to bend, so I'm doing it with my hands. So you're going to go from 3 o'clock up to 12 o'clock in an anti-clockwise, so you're going to be going in this direction, so roughly 90 degrees. Hold it with your thumb and you're going to bend the wire up like that, so it's created that bend there. And then you're going to swap hands, and then remember to hold it tight. Now hold it right, and you're going to pull down the left hand side with your left hand, so I'm going to go from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock and into an anti-clockwise. So you're aiming for that sort of look there, and then we're going to again hold your ring, take the top wire and you're going to pull that in this direction to 9 o'clock. Pull it all around, all the way around, so that it's looping back. So we've made this first loop, so this wire is going around there and back in that direction. Swap hands and do the same with the bottom wire, so out to 3 o'clock. Hold with your thumb, hold the ring, and then bend the wire around. So if you were doing this with your round nose pliers, this is where you would get the pliers in there and bend it with the pliers. So created that effect there, almost like an X in the middle. So the left hand wire is going to bend, wrap around. I'm going to turn it upside down now just so you can see what I'm doing. So you worked, which we created underneath there. This is underneath of it now. I'm going to pull that over like that. And then the bottom left one is going to come over to the right. So that's what the top of the work looks like. This is what the underneath looks like. Keep making sure that your wire is pulled tight. And then this top one is going to go up through here. So we're going to take it off the mandrel for this part here. I'm just going to show you. It's going to bend it because it's aluminium. It's going to bend nice and easy. You tip it, and it's going to go up there. If I can get closer for you. So up. So it's going to go underneath, up and through there. Give you a close up what that looks like. And then we're going to do the same with this side. It's going to go under this side, up and through. I'm just going to turn it around just so you can work with my right hand. So bend it over. And it's going to go up there and through. That's what it's looking like. It looks a bit higgledy-piggledy at the minute, but once I get it back on the mandrel and pull it tight, you'll see. So pop it back on the mandrel. Hold your work, and I am going to pull the bottom one first. So hold your work nice and tight where you want it to be. Make sure it's fitting snug, and then pull the right hand wire nice and tight. So that's the first one. Pull tight. Swap hands with your right hand, and then with your left hand pull this left hand thread, making sure that your wires aren't twisted. Just pull. Push them down so they're snug near each other. Pull everything tight, tight, tight. That's that. Hope the lighting's good. I've got a new setup, so it's just, I won't know if it's worked until the end of the video. So now we have like this here, so I want to show you that's the top. I'm just going to twirl it around. So I'm going to hold the mandrel and just move the work so you can see. So that's the underneath. Got 3 rows there of wire, these 2 bits sticking out, and that's what the top looks like there. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, I will work with the left hand threads. I'm going to hold the right with my thumb, and then the left hand thread is going to come down to, first of all we'll pull it down to 6 o'clock. So and you're just basically shaping it around that first loop that you made. You're just shaping it around that. Swap hands, hold it with my thumb again. I'm going to pop it there so you can see what it's doing. Normally I would have my thumb over that, but I'm just going to pop it there so you can see. So then you pull that around, so you're just shaping the second loop around the first loop. So that wire now is at the bottom. So don't get confused with these two. That's at the bottom now, so we're ignoring that now. We're going to this one that's in the middle there, and we're going to do the same over to the left. So I'm going to hold the wire, and then we're going to pull it up like so, and then around that loop there. So can you see that's what we have now? I'm just going to create a thick band at the back by pulling and hold it like this. So this wire that's out to the right, I'm going to pull it around and under, and then this work that is at the top, the wire at the top is going to come around and under to the right. It's just going to create that nice thick band at the back. I'll show you there. So we've got 5 rows, whereas if we'd have stuck where we were, we'd have just had the 3. But I want 5 rows there, so it's going to feel nice and sturdy on the hand. Push those wires together so they're sitting nice and snug. Turn it back over. Okay, so we've got to the point here where we have done our double loops, which is that middle section there, and now we're going to create these outer encasing wires here. So if you just hold your ring, and we're going to bend the top wire out and around over to the left, and then your bottom wire, we're going to go over and out to the right. So then now you've created that double casing there. So this is a ring which I've made in another video using just the double loops, and that is the step just before we've done this. So we are creating an extra casing, so we're just going to top wire to the left, bottom wire up to the right, and then we're going to now create these little wrap sections here. So if you take the ring off the mandrel, decide where you want your wraps to be, and wherever you want your secure wraps to be is where you are going to create a 90-degree bend in this wire. So I always like to have them sitting just above the crease where the 2 fingers touch. So I'm going to create mine about there. So take your round nose pliers, and then you're going to do exactly the same with the other side, creating a similar distance. Making sure that your rows of wire are all sitting nice and snugly as you want them, because once you lock this in, it locks in where your wires will sit. So you're going to hold and bend across. So you want to make it sit as close as you can. Like that. So we have bent that wire down. And we're going to now go through there. So we're going to go down through there. So it's coming out the other side. So it's going to go down there, and then I'm going to push it. You see, hold this tight with your right hand and push that wire through, and then just gently pull it. I'm going to swap hands now. Hold the weight with my left hand and the wire with my right. Just keep placing it back on the mandrel to make sure that your wires are staying where you want them to be, at the size that you want them to be. I'm just making an adjustment here because the bend wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. So it didn't feel equal. There we go, that feels better. So I'm going to do the same with the right hand side that we've done with the left just now. Keep placing your wire work, your ring back on your mandrel just to make sure that it's keeping its shape before you put those final wraps in, because once your final wraps in you can't change it. So just keep checking, and then once you're happy that it's the right shape and the wires are sitting where you want them, then just finish off doing these wraps. And then that's my final wrap there. So you can snip that off, but I'm just going to wait for now. I'm just going to create this other side first, just in case. Place it back in your mandrel. Keep using the mandrel or whatever you're using to create the shape of your ring. Keep using that to make sure that all your wires are laying nice and flat. Now at this point you can either squish this flat using a little bit of a mallet, or you can take it off and use your flat nose pliers to squish these wires flat a little bit, and it just helps it grip in place. Remember to go gently if you're using aluminium wire. So we're just going to nip it in just so that those wires just nip close to the wire. I'm going to snip this excess off now. Take your wire cutters and then just snip off the excess, and then with your flat nose or your hands just squash it down. You can put a little bit of nail varnish, clear nail varnish on there if you're worried about it being sharp, but I just make sure that the excess is cut on the top band, not underneath, so then you don't feel any sharpness against your skin. Same with the other side. There we go. And then again, keep making sure you've got your shape in there. And that there is the ring complete. So that and that are the exact same style. The only difference with this one I have place the bands, the bands that lock it all together further up the ring, so it's created more of a tight wrap finish there. And then this is what it looks like if you place your bands further down the piece there.